Week one recap. I can tell you this week tested me in ways I did not expect. Main focuses began the AIP diet this week. That's autoimmune paleo diet. I began working out again. I've been taking like a 4 to 5 month hiatus on working out, so this was my first week back in. Next thing this week was wake up at 5 a.m. each morning. My goal was to get a baseline on my 3 scorecard exercises, which was planking. I've always had a weak core, and I'm trying to strengthen that in 90 days. The second one is running. I have a love-hate relationship with running, and it's good. It's a good thing, even though I hate to admit that. And the third thing is unbroken pull-ups, how many I can get. I'm gonna be tracking that week over week. What went well this week? Waking up and overcoming that wall right when you get out of bed. I have struggled with that a lot in the past and have let that get the better of me in probably the last year. The biggest progress this week was starting and getting 1 week worth of momentum into it. I'm proud that I did not have any coffee this week, which I know seems like a small thing to some people, but I've had a coffee addiction. I'll just say it. I'm gonna go on the internet and say I've had a coffee addiction. Been unwilling to say that up to this point, but no coffee this week, which was great. So here's some things that did not go as planned. Number one, I didn't realize how hungry I was gonna be with cutting out carbs. You eat food and you get back to that place of like pit in your stomach feeling really quickly. So I was underprepared in having enough snacks set aside, eating more consistently throughout the day. I don't feel like I worked out as hard as I could have. Part of that was an intentional effort that I did not want to come in with too much gusto and injure myself or get so sore that I was not going to be able to sustain, the other 11 weeks of what I'm trying to do. But the other part of it is that I just don't feel like I did a good job pushing myself by myself. It can be hard when you're working out by yourself to really push. I was surprised this week by how much more accomplished I felt throughout the day just by getting up at 5 a.m. and winning the morning. Two of the biggest mental battles were for sure getting myself to run in the morning at like 5:15 when it was dark by myself with a headlamp at 40 degrees. I did not want to do that and was not looking forward to it. Unfortunately, as I got into the run, it was a lot better than what my brain was telling me it was before I started. The second mental battle was waking up and just getting out of bed before my brain could tell me to stop and roll back over. What this week taught me, you're one decision away from change. I feel silly that it's taken me this long to pursue something like this. I allowed myself to stay in that place of just kind of complacency for too long, and making the decision and then jumping in and holding myself accountable and getting through a full week of it, I realized that you're only one decision away from making change in your life. And sure, I haven't completed 11 weeks yet, and I don't know how it's gonna go, and blah, 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 blah. But I did get 1 weekend, and here we are. Perspective-wise, some things that changed in me is food is for fuel and not for pleasure. You have to disconnect your brain from food being for pleasure, because you'll be disappointed. You just will. There's always sweeter things, savorier things, things that have better texture that are unhealthy for you. And I really had to disconnect my brain and say, I'm eating for fuel to serve and push forward my goals. And that did help me with some of the disappointment of eating more bland foods and waiting for my body and my taste buds to reacclimate to a new diet. What I would do differently after getting through this week, the editing in my morning routine took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. So what got neglected was my Bible reading time. I wasn't getting the word as much as I wanted to. I want to change that for this next week. Scorecard review. So on Thursday, I completed my run, my planks, and my pull-ups to get a baseline on where I'm at to see what kind of improvement I can get. And then I ranked myself on a scale of 1 to 10 on how well I did for my AIP diet. So on the AIP side, I gave myself a 9.5 out of 10. There were 2 days where I ate things at restaurants that I know were cooked in oils, and it was just kind of I could have chosen to not eat, and that would have been an option, but I chose to eat chicken breasts that I know were cooked in probably some oils that would have not been satisfactory to the diet. So there were 2 days there where I gave myself a score of an 8 and a score of a 9. Every other day was a 10, averaged out to a 9.5. 5K on Thursday, my baseline was a 29-minute, 31-second 5K, which averaged out to about a 9.5-minute mile. Embarrassing for me just from the perspective of where I know I've been able to run in the past, but that's the point of this thing, is to get back on the wagon and start somewhere. I'd love to be able to get that sub 25, sub 25 would be great at the end of 12 weeks. I would be pretty excited about that. Planks, minute and 43, unbroken, standard plank. I don't really have a lot of expectation here because I don't know how long to plank. I'm really just going for a stronger core. Pull-ups, 6. I've been up to 9 before. I've never gotten 10. My goal here, I would love to be at 15 by the end of this thing and just cranking out 15 unbroken pull-ups. That would be awesome. Next week, focus is better time with the Lord, better Bible reading, and not pushing out to the wayside. What needs to improve? Planning my workouts the night before so I'm not waking up and trying to get started. I have an app called Sugar WOD, and that helps, but I know I'm always modifying those because they're pretty CrossFit heavy, and I don't have all the equipment, and nor do I try the Olympic lifts as much as they're doing in those workouts. Doubling down on no fudging on the diet. I want to go 30 days clean to give my body that experience of what does 30 days of clean eating feel like. I honestly don't know if I've ever been that long before to know what the impact's going to be, so I want to make sure I'm pretty religious on that. My goal this week is to run 6 miles. I got to get more mileage in and get back into the routine of that. If this is something that you're trying to do as well and you're on a similar journey, keep following. Give me your comments. Give me your feedback about what you're doing. I already had one person reach out and jump on this and say, hey, I've been trying to accomplish some goals for myself as well, and I'm going to join you in this. So that was pretty exciting. See you guys next week.